Hello, hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel here, and A Course in Miracles. Yes, so if you're curious about this, first of all, I thank you for your subscriptions and all of your wonderful comments, and most of all, for your practice of this material. This is the most profound offering that any of us can make in the spiritual arena, over and above service to a teacher, over and above money or gifts in kind to a group or an organization. Preferable to all of that is your practice, your own forgiveness work, your own work at clearing the veils that obscure the truth. So thank you for that, first and foremost. And as you've noticed, where I'm going with this starting out here today is that this series of videos started off as a live stream on Enlightened World Network, and it has since morphed into a series of pre-recorded conversations. And it's a bit like the podcast that I have Decide to Transform, which began as a live internet radio show, and after 6 months of that format, morphed into a pre-recorded format. And I love that I can simply turn the camera and the microphone on and just share from my heart whenever I'm called to. And the time sort of jumps all over the map. So you'll notice that some of the earlier videos are, in fact, a live stream where I'm addressing people's comments, welcoming people's comments. I still welcome people's comments. And the best way to get a hold of me is either on Facebook Messenger. It's Tomas Garza with an accent mark, a written accent mark over the A. And that is a great way to reach me, or email, which is tomas@tomasgarza.com. And I understand that there are some instances on the path where we need a little bit of extra help, a little bit of extra guidance, perhaps some additional explanation. Perhaps you'll benefit from my experience with this material, particularly with the workbook and A Course in Miracles. And feel welcome, of course, to reach out. So where we're going today is someplace we've always been. How about that? That is universally true of every single principle here in the workbook, because we're not really going anywhere. This is what it means in practice to clear the obstacles, clear the blocks to our awareness of love's presence, to our awareness of who we are. We don't actually have to go anywhere. So isn't that exciting? You don't have to run off to a beautiful retreat center in Costa Rica, although it sounds like fun. Not gonna lie. You don't have to run off to the Himalayas in order to practice, in order to realize the truth of who you really are. We don't need to physically go anywhere. It's all inside. And lesson 190 that we're covering today is all inside. It's all about a choice that we make in the present moment. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. Radical ideas here from the Course. Pain's a choice. It is. It's a choice. It does not matter to me if you agree with that. In fact, you don't have to. It's a choice because we've chosen the world. If you follow and accept the premise of A Course in Miracles that everything that we see in the outside world is an effect, not a cause, but an effect, then it naturally follows that if you're experiencing pain, whether it be physical pain, like an illness, or emotional pain and suffering, some spiritual disarray, maybe a relationship or a personal health issue, whatever you may be experiencing, when it hits home for you that everything that we see in the supposed outer world is an effect, we're the cause. Our own mind, our own choice in the present moment is the cause. When the reality, the truth of that dawns on you, this will make sense that we've chosen pain. Now, it doesn't on the surface feel like that. This is not something we can simply go up to people and saying, oh yeah, sorry about your illness there. Yeah, you chose that. Yeah, you chose to have tendonitis in your knee. You chose to have a broken bone. I mean, it's like somebody coming up to me after I had a traumatic car accident in 2013 and had to learn to walk again, that, yeah, I chose to have to learn to walk again. I chose all the medical bills. I chose to wake up in the hospital. Yeah, I chose to have a surgically reconstructed hip. You should see the x-rays. Oh man. It's not a skillful thing to say to people, but here we are in a safe context of A Course in Miracles, where we're shining the light on everything that we now believe, and hopefully, in your case, raising it all to question. We have a choice in the present moment of love or fear. We could choose the joy of God instead of pain. When we choose this enough, our outer world changes, doesn't it? We show up differently. We begin to see and feel and experience things in a different way. This is quite simply the way it works. The commentary states quite clearly that pain is simply a wrong perspective. It's a way of looking at ourselves as finite, as compound bodies of flesh and bone, which we will come to know are simply illusions. We give these over in the study of A Course in Miracles to our teacher, to the voice for God, the Holy Spirit, the universal inspiration, call it whatever you will, him, her, them, it, really, call it whatever you will. When you give this compound body of flesh and bones over to the service of truth, then beautiful things happen in your life. Ultimately, and this is a presentation of ultimate truth, it's our thoughts that cause us pain. Ego-related thoughts of wanting to get something from somebody, of lack, of fear, of frustration. It's our thoughts that cause us pain. We're ultimately choosing them. Now, the beautiful thing about all this is right here, right now, in the present moment, we can choose differently. As the Course puts it, we can choose yet again. If you've chosen wrongly in the past, so be it. We all have. Choose the joy of God instead of pain right now. And that is what lesson 190 very clearly, very concisely, and very poignantly advises us to do. And it's up to us to accept this. So what we do in practicing this idea is we sit with the idea. If what you do is recite the idea as many times as you remember it, that is very, very beneficial. If you sit quietly and ask for this to be shown to you experientially, even better. But we all do what we can when we remember to do it, because we're still functioning here in the world. Just because this is completely insubstantial and a transitory illusion does not mean that we don't have to function. Now, a very important point as a teacher of A Course in Miracles and of spirituality in general. I know a number of you watching these videos are, in fact, teachers yourselves. It's very important that we exercise what in Buddhism we refer to as skillful means here in communicating these ideas. Remember, this is a safe space to go very deep and very direct. That's what I'm called to deliver. That's what the Holy Spirit delivers. That's what Jesus says in this course. I'm simply acting as a conduit for this message. So we have the safe and positive interactive space here to go deep. Out there in the world, you won't win any friends by saying, yeah, that chronic ailment you got, you chose that. Unchoose it. Right? Well, the truth, in fact, is simple. People don't always see it that way. So what do? You practice. You sit with this idea that you choose the joy of God instead of pain, and you show up differently without swiping people's illusions away from them. You show up and demonstrate that there's a different way of seeing things. People will feel you when you show up this way. They will see you. They will experience you in a different way. And they're seeing themselves. They're seeing the self with a capital S, which we all share. And you don't have to come up to your family members and tell them that they're dead wrong, even if they may be gravely mistaken. We do not run around and make an ass of ourselves, quite honestly. Because many of us reach this point on this timeline in this 21st century here, whatever that actually means. We all made all that up anyway. But here we are, and a number of us have wounds. A number of us have very negative experiences from a fundamentalist background. I count myself among those people where people told us that we were wrong. So that's the last thing, naturally, quite naturally, that we want to do. Let people have their illusions. You simply show up and demonstrate a different way. Now, some of you may feel called to actually do as I'm doing and turn on a camera and microphone and show up to teach in the widely recognized capacity of teacher, or you may not. We're all demonstrating. We're demonstrating what we believe and what we choose deep down in our hearts. We're demonstrating that. People are picking up on it, always. So whether you hold yourself out as a teacher or not, as the Course confirms for us, each and every one of us is a teacher. So as always, the invitation is wide open to reach out to me either on Facebook Messenger or via email. And definitely please feel welcome to leave comments here in the YouTube channel as well. Now, if you're interested in catching some of the live streams from Enlightened World Network, they're here on this channel, also on the YouTube channel for Enlightened World Network, which has a number of other really wonderful spiritual related programs. So you'll want to check both of those out. And thank you so much again for your practice above all else. And it has been, as always, an honor to be here with you today. And I look forward to showing up again and doing it tomorrow. Have a great day.